are listening to the most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Oscar's Guitar Shop with Oscar Jordan, right here on LA Talk Radio.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go.
Greetings and salutations. Hey now. Welcome to another episode of Oscar's Guitar Shop. I'm Vintage Guitar Magazine contributing writer Oscar Jordan, and I am burdened with glorious purpose. Yes, I am. How y'all doing? Woo! Welcome to the Sausage Fest. Thank you for being you. Hey, happy belated birthday to bassist extraordinaire, all people. Happy birthday to, belated birthday to James Jamerson. Thank you for the iconic Motown bass lines. You have changed the world. Thank you. I love the bass will live on. And you know what? Jamerson didn't have to play 8-string bass. He used 4 strings and he sounded just fine. You know, there you go. That's all you need is 4. Hey, I survived the NAMM show last week, and I know you were concerned. And I'm okay. I'm okay. A lot of walking, a lot of people noodling, playing all kinds of songs at the same time. It's if you've ever been to NAMM, you know what it's like. It's really, really crazy. Former guest Michael Lee Firkins was there, and I swear to God, I saw him like 6 times, and I did not speak to him once because I was just caught up in the sea of humanity that's just flowing through the hallways. I saw him like 6 times, and I couldn't even talk to him. It was like he was going this way, I was going that way, and that's just how crazy NAMM is. It's just really, really amazing, overwhelming. I saw a lot of cool stuff. Marshall had some great stuff. Electro Harmonics has this pedal called the Lumberjack, where you can hear 2 amps at once. It's like, it's not a AB box. It's a pedal that sounds like you're playing through 2 amps. It's like 2 different tones going on at the same time. They got, it's 21st century, can do anything. Oh, I played the Charvel Jakey Lee guitar, which is pretty damn amazing. I'm a big fan. And despite all the crazy people and a zillion songs being played all at the same time, Albert Lee at the Ernie Ball booth totally stole it. He just made it. He made everybody happy. He just said, there's wanking and then there's music, and I am Albert Lee and I'm here to show you the difference. And he just kicked some serious booty. It was great. I also saw Sly Stallone. Not Sly Stallone. That's from Rocky. That's a different guy. Sly Stone. Sly and the Family Stone. I saw him in person. I saw him, and it was like, oh my God, he's the legend himself was right there. It was unbelievable. Apologies to Greg Howe and Marigold. I was there. I stayed up late. I thought they were going on at 10. They went on after 1 o'clock in the morning or something, and I could not hang. I was a pussy, and I'm very sorry, Greg and Cassandra and all of you. Megan. Oh, Megan is. I saw Megan though. Hot, so hot. I will have to watch the video. Greg, you are my spiritual leader. I'm sorry about that. And, so that's basically just my NAMM report. It was, I just had to go on and on about that because it was an intense 2 days for me. Got some great pictures, though. Go to my site. Check it out. Thank you, Alex Sadowski and Bob Sheely, for your generous donations to Oscar's Guitar Shop. Alex and Bob are helpers. Giants among men, golden gods, gentlemen and scholars. Ladies and gentlemen, be like Alex and Bob. Please be like Alex and Bob. Would you like to help Oscar's Guitar Shop? Go to oscarsguitarshop.com and click donations to the show. Share the magic inside your wallet. Oscar's Guitar Shop is powered by True Tone Music. Visit them at truetonemusic.com, making your music come to life. Also, Performance Guitars. Performance, building custom guitars and basses for the biggest names in the music industry since 1976. Visit them at performanceguitars.com. And last but not least, Mojave Ampworks. Visit the Oasis of Tone at mojaveampworks.com. Would you like to become a sponsor like them? Email me at oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. And now, it's time.
I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm a blues man through and through. I shouldn't have to say it, y'all, but I'm a blues man through and through. It's in my walk, in my talk, in our way to play my blues. The blues is all on me. It's something I can't hide. The blues is all on me. It's something I can't hide. When women lock their car door, when I'm just walking by, that's all I give a minute. My friends say, why you play the way you do? My friends say, why you play the way you do? I say the blues gotta move on. This ain't 1952. Live a little life for the blues to come out right. You gotta live a little life for the blues to come out right. So take your time, young fellas. You can't learn this overnight. You don't feel no pain, no. When the blues hit your soul, you don't feel no pain. Ain't nothing to lose, it's all the game. Hey, listen to you, so deep. I'm in my studio, y'all, making it do what it do. I'm in the home of Delmar.
In Chicago's blues community, everybody knows Toronzo Cannon. For years, he battled it out in Chi-Town's fiercely competitive blues circuit, suffered the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, lived to tell the tale, and ultimately became an artist on the illustrious Delmark record label. Cannon's music sits firmly between Chicago's brutal asphalt and its unforgiving winter months. He plays blues with a traditional sense of honesty and a sly sense of humor, while never forgetting that we live in the 21st century. Having paid his due as a sideman and band leader, it's on John the Conqueror that Cannon is fully unleashed. Blues Blast magazine called Toronzo the real deal, while Pop Matters called John the Conqueror a heady mix of blistering Hendrix-esque guitar riffs and stomping rhythms, with Cannon reeling off molten licks one after the next. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Toronzo Cannon. Hey, Toronzo.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Wow. It's good to finally have you on the show. You hear that applause?
Yeah, look at all the people. Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Man. They love you. How did it... Damn, because you've been all around the world, man. Why wouldn't they love you?
Well, it's been a couple of countries. It's been cool.
That's cool, man. So how have you been, man?
Man, I've been good. It's been working out so far.
Yeah? You doing a lot of traveling, I notice.
Yeah, I just did a thing in San Francisco and then right back to Armenia in January. Early January, I should say. I was in Armenia in November, and they wanted me to come back for a January show. And I happily obliged.
Those Armenians love them some blues, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, the last American blues guy over there was B.B. King in 1975.
Wow.
Yeah, and then me. And I'm like, oh, thanks for the added pressure. Thank you. But it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. Well, tell me something, man. You've been playing a long time now. You coming out of Chicago. There's a lot of players around. And I am told that the secret to your success has been your suits. Is that true?
Yeah, the lining is not the actual suit, but the lining inside the suit. No.
But I mean, it's not only is it the look of the suit, it's the cut of the suit.
Yeah, they just kind of flop down. No, well, I'm a believer in, you should respect the stage and, kind of dress up because it's an event, Mm-hmm. And I just, I like to look the look. When you go play some blues, it's a visual. For me, it's a visual and also an audible thing, Mm-hmm. And some people say, well, this is not church, or you're not going back in the 50s, but it's an event, and you should treat it as such. I mean, I'm just happy to be someone would pay to come see me play, So why not give them some eye candy?
Right. No shorts and flip-flops for you in the near future?
No, unless I'm in the basement practicing a song or something, but there shouldn't be any cameras down there.
Yes, I think not. Well, you know what? I would have to come and drag you off the stage if you ever got on stage with shorts and flip-flops. There are laws,
Yeah, some will be going on with me. I might need intervention or something,
Right. I will be happy to lead that intervention and help drag you off the stage because I just...
My man. Thank you.
So people don't know this, but I have known you a long time. I have known you many years. I'm from Chicago. You're from Chicago. I think it's weird because I actually met you in L.A. when we were here for a Hendrix show, the birthday party. Remember that?
Yeah, that was with Rosalie Brooks and everybody, and me and Stan Skibby.
Yep, that was the. Oh, that's right, because Stan, he was one of the contestants in the Hendrix competition, and you were there to support him, and I was there, and that's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what year that was? I'm old. I don't know nothing anymore.
I would say probably 98.
Wow.
98 or something, because I was looking at the picture of me, Billy Cox, and Rosalie taking a picture, and I think that was around 98.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I've gone. It's all a blur now because I had been going to. It used to be BB King's in Universal City Walk, but it's gone now. But I had gone there like every year after that, so it's all a blur because I'd met Billy Cox, I met Mitch Mitchell, I met all the hangers on and stuff, so I can't even remember what happened. But I do remember me and you just hitting it off really, really well for the first time, and we've been friends ever since. And when I would go home to Chicago, Toronzo would take care of me. He would always take me to all the clubs. He'd say, "Oh, this is Oscar. He used to live here, but he doesn't anymore. Take care of him. Please let him be up on stage and play." And they would say, "Oh, we know Toronzo, so Oscar must be cool." So then they would let me play, and I'm very grateful for that.
Because we met through a forum, because I was coming to L.A., and it was a Jimi Hendrix forum on my web TV back in the day. Mm-hmm. And you contacted me through web TV, and I'm like, I'm going to be in California, whoever was on this Jimmy forum, and you contacted me. And that we met there through the internet or whatever. Right.
Yeah, that's right. It's the internet is a beautiful thing because that's how we met. And we basically, we're close to the same age. We grew up around, the same time, but we never met while I was living in Chicago. I left Chicago in 90, moved to LA.
Okay.
But it's really great that we're together. We're still friends, and it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad to have you on the show. Let's go back because I know a lot about you, but I want to find out some things that I don't know about you and that a lot of people in Radioland don't know about you. Tell me about, you grew up on the South Side. Give me your introduction to the blues.
Yeah, I grew up on the South Side, a couple of blocks from Teresa's, where Buddy and Muddy and Junior Wells, was Earl Hooker. All those cats played down there, and but I just never got in. My uncles used to hang down there, and just grew up in the hood, in the neighborhood at the time, early '70s, and just kind of like, hey, didn't know what that was until I got older. I didn't know how important that was to the blues scene until I started playing guitar in my early 20s. So I'm like, wow, I didn't know all of that. Now I'm, digging back, talking to my uncles and everything, and all that stuff, and looking at old footage of Teresa's or whatever. I mean, I never had a chance to really go in because I was a kid, but I used to look over the banister and kind of try to see what was going on with, what I could, through the door or whatever. But I grew up in the blues neighborhood, and years later started playing some blues guitar.
It sounds like you started guitar kind of late compared to most other people.
Yeah, I couldn't play basketball anymore. I broke my meniscus, and I needed something to do. Wanted something to do. My sister at the time was playing piano, and she was into this whole, I'm going to borrow my siblings' instruments, whatever they want. And she asked my little sister what she wanted. She said piano lessons. And she asked me what I wanted. I said, okay, a guitar. Because I was, at the time, I was looking at like John Cougar and all that stuff, mm-hmm. Late 80s, early 90s.
John Cougar? Are you serious?
Yeah. John Cougar, when he was John Cougar.
Yeah, Mellencamp.
Kind of got me into listening to guitar.
Little Pink Houses for You and Me.
Yeah, Rain on the Scarecrow. Yeah. Lonesome Jubilee. It was a album of the year. Yeah,
that's right.
But now he's John Mellencamp. So, but hey, right on. But he was the guy that made me really notice guitar at the time, and because there's a heavy acoustic sound. So she bought me an acoustic guitar. I realized that it was upside down because I'm left-handed. So I'm like, but that big string should be on the top. Mm-hmm. So the guys charged me like $50 at that time to change an acoustic strings, like the right way, I was like, okay. So I started listening to a lot of Bob Marley videos, I wanted to play reggae. That was my first thing to do. So that's how I learned my chords, looking at Bob Marley videos and just trying to learn Redemption Song and stuff like that, Mm-hmm. And then I had heard about Jimi Hendrix, but all the stuff I heard was like bootleg stuff that didn't sound good. And I'm like, okay, that's the Jimi Hendrix. Okay, that's what they're talking about. But then when I saw like a video, I think it was Monterey, the first thing I saw. And I saw that, and I was like, wow, that's cool. It's visually cool, and just the sounds, of course, like the moans and the groans of the guitar. I'm like, man. So in '93, I bought my first electric guitar.
What was it?
Yeah. A Squire, a black and white Squire guitar with a Champion 110 that I still have in the basement right now that's still working. And, so Hendrix kind of freaked me out, man. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
But
it's
at
interesting that
time-
you mentioned Hendrix not jumping on immediately, because I had the same effect. Most people think, oh, black guy, Hendrix, it's a match made in heaven, but it's really not so. It takes some maturity to appreciate Hendrix on the deeper level, as opposed to just all the histrionics and the burning guitars. There's a lot. It's very deep, and then so we both had to mature up to Hendrix,
Yeah. I mean, again, I was heavy into reggae and the chords and the whole thing. I was still just trying to learn. But I would, as far as touching Hendrix, I just like to look at it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I didn't even try to play anything. I'm afraid to play Hendrix stuff now. But I tried if I'm just feeling just like freaky or whatever. Like I'm just gonna try it, But yeah, and then every jam you go to in Chicago, there's no reggae jams. There's no but every jam you go to is like a blues jam. So I kind of got turned, came in through the back door where it was like, okay, I want to play reggae, but the jams I go to are blues jams. Rodney Brown at Blues Etc. at the time was hosting a blues jam, and he would let me up, and I go once in a while to Buddy Guy's on Mondays just to sit there and look. George Bays was the Buddy Guy's guitar player, was hosting the jam, him and Brother John, and I would just go and look at where people's fingers were on the fretboard and try to retain it till I got home. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then, I'll do my little recording. I'll have like little stuff, my little recordings, and kind of put it under a hat and keep it in my jacket and stuff like that, Mm. But, yeah, man, I was trying to learn, I'm still trying to learn.
Very cool. I want to get into some of your later influences once you started performing. But first, I would like to play a cut from your record.
Cool.
I would like to play, this is one of my favorite songs on your album. It's a really good album, people. If you have not heard this, go check it out. This tune is called If You're Woman Enough, from the album John the Conqueror Root by Toronzo Cannon. I'm going to play a track. I'm going to do a commercial, and I'll be right back.
Woman enough to leave me, I'm man enough to see you go. If you're woman enough to leave me, I'm man enough to see you go. Don't touch nothing, or just walk out of my door. Things got shaky after you said I do. We're 2 years in, baby, and you ain't the same you. Start a little argument, pick a little fight. Why you gotta get your hair done every other night? If you're woman enough to leave me, I'm man enough to see you go. Don't touch nothing, or just walk out of my door. I know about the clothes over your girlfriend's house. I know about my money in your secret bank account. To make things easier, when you're playing your getaway, only God and the neighbors know what to do while I'm at work all day. If you're woman enough to leave me, man enough to see you go. Don't touch nothing, just walk out of my door. But before you go, listen to this. it's the shake and bake. I go for some things, baby, but this I can't take. So pat your rags, cause we're through. I don't touch the doorknob, baby, I open the door for you. If you're woman enough to leave me, I'm man enough to see you go. Don't touch nothing, I just walk out of my door. Go on, get out here, woman, I caught you.
Wow. Holy moly, Toronzo Cannon playing that guitar. Climbing that guitar like a ladder. Chopping a cheddar cheese, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Performance Guitars has been making hand-built custom guitars and basses since 1976. Their clients have included some of the biggest names in the music industry, including Frank and Dweezil Zappa, Warren DeMartini, Billy Sheehan, Steve Vai, and Joe Walsh. Their attention to detail, craftsmanship, and great customer service and on-site construction has made them a top choice for musicians the world over. Their guitar amp and effects repair is second to none. Their Corsair Guitar Series and YB Bass Series was created for the working professional who needs an instrument that can perform in a variety of musical situations. Their Frank Zappa-inspired effects pedals specialize in real, analog, and true bypass sounds. Performance guitars and basses will provide a seamless connection between you and the creation of great music. Visit Performance Guitars at performanceguitars.com or call 323-883-0781. That's 323-883-0781. Tell them Oscar sent you. Say, hey, Cooney, what's up? Oscar sent me. That's right. Cooney will take care of you. He will fix your guitar. He will build you a guitar. And when it's all done, he'll say, no guitar, ready, hi. Exactly, because he's Japanese, and that's how Japanese people talk. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Toronzo, that was a great cut, man.
Thank you.
What's going?
I try to write from,
Say again.
No, I try to write from my experiences or things that I've heard.
Really?
know?
Well, you've lived it, and then you write about it. That's what art is all about.
Yeah.
What guitar are you playing on that cut?
I'm playing a 335.
I was just going to say.
Well, the 335 I had gold top. I sold it to Dave's Guitar Shop now, but it was a 335 that I was getting those sounds out of.
I appreciate your woodiness.
My woodiness, okay.
It's very woody.
Okay.
Nice. I love that. In fact, I want to go from I'm more known as just like a super strat guy, and I just love that woody kind of fuzzy woody tone. That's just that Gary Clark Jr. thing, man. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I'm also on this CD using a Flying V on some of the tracks also.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of your shots of you or photos have you with a V, and being a left-handed V player, it's just very striking. That and the cool suits, of course.
Well, I got it from my friend Mike Wheeler. Something's got to match your guitar. If it's not the strap, it's got to be the shoes or a shirt, a hat, or something. So I got that from him. Something's got to match.
I think my favorite one is there's a photo of you. I've been posting it. It's kind of a brown burst V. I think it's a Gibson. What is that?
A Sunburst V that's also gone. I'm not married to the guitars, man. I don't know why I play them a little bit, and then I
you sold it. You didn't call me. Oh, that's
No,
right.
I'm sorry, man. I got some more though. I got some more.
That's a nice guitar. That brown one. That it's like a brown burst, I guess it is, or something.
Oh, well, if it's the one from the Blues Fest, that's not mine. Dan Irwine made that one. That's a Albert King V.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not mine. That's a friend, a husband and wife team that let me use their guitars on like special events. Jim Wallace and Alicia Wallace.
Oh, very cool. It's a very striking. Very striking.
Yeah. Oh man, it's made by the exact same specs as Albert King's, man. Same wood, the whole thing. You know. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy, but it's cool.
But you string your guitars as a lefty. You string your guitars differently than Albert King, correct?
Yeah, I got to put the big string on the top.
That's right. That's cool.
Yeah.
You and Eric Gales, yeah.
Well, no, Eric Gales just flip it. He just flips it upside down.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought he was. I thought he was swapping it out. Is it? Can you play a guitar with the top string being the high E?
No. Maybe I can do like 2 or 3 chords and maybe a couple of solos runs, but very minimal, man. It's crazy. I don't see how cats do it, man. But if that's the way you learn, that's the way you learn.
Well, I was talking to some other lefties that came on the show, and that whole the way it's strung and being left-handed, it just kind of presents its own sound. It's a very specific blues, that Albert King thing that you just cannot get anywhere else.
Because you're squeezing down as opposed to bending up.
Exactly.
You get more power under your fingers. But once in a while, man, on my V, I can get that open air woody sound that his V used to get. Kind of like the Fillmore East video when he was playing that Karina V, and he's doing I think it was Pretty Woman, doing Pretty Woman. I can kind of get that woody sound when you squeeze down on your strings at a certain point. But you can't, you got to be careful because you'll squeeze it off the fretboard,
Yeah.
That don't sound too cool,
When you were, after you had decided you were going to start taking blues seriously, was there any, who did you sit down with? I'm talking, not who, but like when you were at home with your guitar, who did you listen to and whose licks did you cop the most?
I listened to a lot. Well, Albert King, Buddy Guy. I couldn't get what Albert Collins was doing, even though I liked it. Could never get what he was doing because he was, alternate tunings and stuff like that. Little Jimmy King. That was a little bit later, though. I would listen to him a lot, and I like to listen to guys that interpret other guys so I can see how they attack it. Like I'll listen to Ernie Isley to see how he does his Hendrix, so maybe I can find out how to chop it down and maybe get a lick or two off of it. You know what I mean?
I know exactly
like
what you
their
mean.
approach. Yeah, I look at their approach to guys that's like the greats, and it's kind of easy to translate like that. But I mean, this is a daily struggle, or giggly, a giggly struggle, just to, just to hit any string, to hit the string that I want to hit at the time. You know what I mean? It's like when you're in the heat of the moment, all the stuff that you've, practiced or that you think you can, I'm going to put this on stage, I'm going to put this here. Once the people get to looking at you, man, and you feeling good and that sweat getting your eye and it's burning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you got to forget all that. You just into it. Yeah. And the way I feel, like when I do a show, if I can remember everything I did, to me it wasn't a good show. If I can't remember it, that means I had a good time and it was a good show,
Yeah, I agree. I was talking to someone else about this because I'll sit and I'll work out a lot of things like melodic ideas and theoretical musical concepts, and I love guys like Eric Johnson and more technical players. And then the moment I get on stage, it's all gone. It's like I'm just playing. I'm playing. Whatever I got going, I'm just playing, and I totally understand what you're saying. You just play from the heart and you just go. Yeah.
And, I mean, once in a while, you can kind of sit back and say, okay, let me put this in there, But, yeah, man, it's all out the window after a certain point, And can I say, case in point, I just opened up for Buddy Guy Saturday. And, dude, I can't remember really anything. there's a thing called Giggity TV that they record your videos and all that stuff, you know, like if you're from somewhere else. I looked at the video the day after, a couple of days after, and I was like, wow. But I was so in the moment. The crowd was, like, nice and just right, man, and ready to go, and I'm having fun. It was, you know, everything. When I talked, they were receptive. It was like, oh, man, yeah, you know. And next thing you know, that hour was up. I'm like, wow. And then Buddy came on and did his thing, man, and blew the roof off. And, you know, it was cool, man.
Yeah, Buddy's a great performer. I saw him a couple of years ago at the he headlined the Hollywood Bowl, and just amazing. Still got it going on. I want to play another track from your record, because you do put a lot of influences, despite the fact that, you know, you're a Chicago blues guy. There's a lot of things in that pot, and you really stir it up. This next tune is from John the Conqueror. It's called Shame. I'm going to play a track, do a commercial, and I'll be right back.
You know, people ain't shame no more. They do what they want to do. But I got something to tell all of everybody. Dig this. You're taking money from the poor in the name of the Lord. Just bought a Cadillac with cash with 4 doors. Telling people lies, claiming you've been blessed. But you ain't gonna see the light when you take your last breath. Shame, shame. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Yes. I think you can dig it. Why wouldn't you dig it? I dig it. That's some serious guitar playing. Serious.
Right on.
That's very serious. True Tone Music is a virtual candy store for guitarists and bass players. They're world famous for having the best selection of new and used and vintage guitars in the Los Angeles area. Located at 714 Santa Monica Boulevard in the great city of Santa Monica, True Tone Music offers the widest selection of exceptionally high-quality guitars and basses. They stock name brands like Fender, Gibson, Epiphone, Gretsch, much, much more. Check out their wide selection of Martin acoustic guitars. Martin is the leading manufacturer of steel string flat top acoustics and synonymous with handcrafted excellence. True Tone Music is where the top names in the music industry shop for guitars, basses, amps, and boutique pedals. They'll match it. I swear to God, they will match any online price and back it up with top-notch customer service. Visit them online at truetonemusic.com or call 310-393-8232. That's 310-393-8232. Ask for Ken. Tell him Oscar said howdy. Hey, what's not to like? You go into True Tone and there's guitars and pedals galore. Take your pick. Hey, Toronzo, man.
Yeah.
Is it true, I'm asking, is it true that the blues got to move on because it ain't 1952?
Yes, that's true. I put that in my song, and I understand. I understand doing traditional stuff, and I just had a conversation on Facebook about this thing where one of my good friends was saying that she said I sound condescending, but I'm like, there's nothing condescending about trying to motivate your peers, especially songwriters. I said songwriters should not have Mojo, got my Mojo working, or Hoochie Man, or Sweet Home Chicago on their new CD. I don't understand if you're a songwriter to have those old songs on your. I mean, we can't do it better than those guys did it, or guys that did it like other guy like Junior Wells did Mojo. I like the way he did it. Very cool, very contemporary for that time, the 70s. So, I mean, I want my song to be a sing-along song. You know what I mean? Where people ask me, hey, man, did you sing, Ernestine yet? Did you sing John the Conqueror? And for all out there, there's a song that I wrote called Let It Shine Always, a special song dear to my heart, that I wrote from I just wrote it. It's dear to my heart. But I want songs like that to be a sing-along. I mean, the blues got to move on, man. I mean, you got to, but still have the sensibilities and the respect of the guys from the 50s and the 60s and the pioneers and guys that really did it. But you gotta put something on it. You gotta keep it going. The genre got to keep moving.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, as you can hear, I'm probably passionate about that. But
I want to play devil's advocate just so I can get you all riled up. I want to get you mad.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna get you mad. So here's the thing, though. There's people who buy records, and there's people who don't buy records. And the people who buy records, they want to hear your version of Mustang Sally. They want to hear your version of Sweet Home Chicago and Got Your Mojo Working and Help Me and all this stuff. And unfortunately, those are the guys who are spending the money. It's not the people who want to hear your art, your artistry. How do you talk about that? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, sometimes we have to. I guess there's a calculation of okay, how many people want to hear the same old thing as opposed to people, I hate to say fans, but people that like blues, our friends, friends of the blues. The people that like your blues or like the old time blues. You know what I mean? It's like I'm listening to radio the other day, and there's a guy sounding just like Magic Sam, and doing Magic Sam, and I'm like, because I looked at my screen, and I'm like, I thought it was Magic Sam. It sounds just like him, and my automatic idea was, why would somebody make a song sounding just like Magic Sam? Why not take that sound of the Delmark sound in those days, there was, whatever that sound was with a lot of reverb and the whole thing, and write your own tune with that same sensibility of that sound. I mean, I didn't understand that, but it's being played on the radio. But my thing is, how many people like really buy your like fans of what you want to do and what you're doing, as opposed to fans that they can they want to buy remakes of things and copies. I think it's more people out there that want to hear new original stuff with maybe the sound of the old school. Like Shame I just did. I took a Howlin' Wolf riff and freaked it out a little bit and put like a reggae kind of beat with the drum beat on it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's still, that's why at the end I did that Howlin' Wolf lick to let people know that's still Howlin' Wolf. I have a sensibility of the old school, but trying to bring it new and with new stories. Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't, with new stories, there's a lot of stories out there that need to be told, man.
And there's honest contemporary stories to be told.
Hey, how honest can you get? He's just a blues man. He come home late. He told you all of that on the first date. Now you live together and he don't come home. You got a man, but you still all alone. How honest is that? You know what I mean? I'm not lying to nobody because it's happened. I've seen it.
Every musician understands that story.
What was that?
Every musician understands that story totally. You meet a woman and she loves you and digs you because you're on stage and you playing, and then you get together and then she goes, "Well, why you come home so late?" "Well, because I'm a musician."
Like when you met me anymore. And it's like or politicians. You know how Chicago politics is. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's stories everywhere to be told. And when my friend, it didn't hurt me because, that's one person's opinion. But my thing is to create thought and to motivate my peers to write something different, to write, especially songwriters. Mm-hmm. Of course, on your show, people want to hear sing-alongs. The fans want to hear sing-alongs. I'll freak out Mojo Working. We can do that. When I do Mojo Working, I put a Hendrix riff behind it. Mm-hmm. I do Voodoo Child with it and freak it out. That's how I got to France the first time, because there was a documentary. Some cats came in at Blues, etc. And somebody's opening my front door. Okay, I put a Hendrix riff on it, but they liked me so much I got 7 or 8 minutes of their documentary. Wow. And somebody saw it over in France and was like, "Would you like to come to France?" I'm like, 43rd Street in Chicago, France. 43rd Street in Chicago, France. Okay, let's go to France. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So the blues, ultimately, it's got to move on. It's got to do something other. I love shuffles. I love Elmore James. I love J.B. Hutto. I love Hound Dog Taylor. Them cats put chill bumps on my arms. And I'm man enough to say this. I get water in my eyes when I'm listening to it. The pain in their voice and how they sing. I wish I could sound like that one day, but I can't. So I got to do what I got to do now until I get to that age, till I get to that life experience, till I get to that part of my life where I probably can't hit a chord like I hit it. I'm going to have to do an alternate thing, which may sound like them. Those guys lived life. And you can't, and no disrespect, because my daughter's 11, she plays piano. She's not a blues woman, which is cool. But you got to live a little life for blues to be like, I like to see the kids play and young people and all that. But if you ain't had your first real girlfriend, like my one friend said, and rip your heart out and stomped on it, you can't sing the blues where it's like with feeling. And sing what you know. If your mama didn't give you an allowance, sing that. You can have more feeling and singing that than saying how you love somebody. And and you 11 years old.
That's right. I mean? That's it. That is the bottom line. Experience, true experiences.
Sing what you know.
Sing what you know. Toronzo, thank you so much for coming on my program, man.
That's it, man.
You just said, you expressed exactly the thing that I've always said about the blues. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. It's It's been an honor to have you on my program. You're welcome anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. I'd like to thank our guest, Toronzo Cannon. Set mind to purpose and visit him at toronzocannon.com and purchase every piece of music he has ever written. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Performance Guitars, building custom guitars and basses for the biggest names of the music industry since 1976. Visit them at performanceguitars.com. Also, True Tone Music at truetonemusic.com. And last but not least, Mojave Amp Works. Visit the Oasis of Tone at mojaveampworks.com. Want to become a sponsor? Email me at oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. Tune in next week when our guest will be pop icon, guitar player, and international playboy, John Mayer. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
She ugly, but to me she's fine. Make no difference, cause the heart is kind. Big-legged woman on my mind. A woman like this